think we can get started now. Thank you again for joining today's webinar. I am Mijali Marcano, Technical Manager at HPDC. Today we'll be presenting you the updates to the HPD Public Repository to support the new version of the HPD Open Standard, the version 3.0. Back in July 2025, 2 months ago, we released the HPDC Technical Committee approved the new version of the standard. And yesterday, we released a new version of the HPD Builder to support the updates of the HPD Open Standard. There is a refresh in the look of the homepage of the Builder, new functionality, and also a lighter design on the PDF format that we will see today. And just as a reminder, today we're going to focus on the HPD Open Standard in the HPD Public Repository, but there are 2 more webinars recorded and posted on our YouTube channel where you can review the updates to the standard and the new functionality in the HPD Builder. So for the HPD repository, we have the simple search, which is this home page of the HPD repository. No login is required, and currently you can already access the new versions of the HPD that have been published since yesterday. I'm going to show you that. Here there is a new filter now that displays for the 3.0. And we can see that so far we have 16 3.0 HPDs that have been published. Let's take a look at one of the HPDs that were published. You can click and download and see the slight changes to the PDF. We moved some of the data that was in the footer here to the top. This is to mitigate the formatting challenges where the inventory and screening notes were too long. So this data was cutting here and it didn't look very well. So now you will find the dates and the verification or preparation information at the top. We have new fields for the HPD unique product ID, and this will populate depending on whether the manufacturer enters data for the SKUs. There was a refresh on the summary section. We removed the radio button, so now you only will see the results or the selection, as well as some color coding. And the rest is just updates to the fields that are related to the standard updates, but the sections remain the same design. So going back to the repository, as I said, you can already start downloading 3.0 from yesterday. All HPDs that are published will be in the 3.0 version. Regarding the HPD repository dashboards, we are adding 3 new filters now. Product type filter, we are adding the segmentation for GSPI 6 classes, and we also are adding a VOC emissions filter, which I will show you because it's already in place. And also the development of the interactive HPD, which is a second format that was introduced with the 3.0 version that aims to be more explanatory for users. We are first presenting the same fields that are, of course, the same data, but the same design or a similar design to the one that we have for the rest of the sections in the PDF. But the idea is to add more context and to add more links, connect information that can provide more details on what each of the fields on the HPD mean. We also have pre-checks, and we will be adding more pre-checks, and we will start also to work on the libv5 pre-check so that you can be ready to find HPDs that are aligned with the requirements for libv5 as well. And the EU HPD, which we are not releasing it with this 3.0 release, we aim to have it completed within the next month. Go through the updates in the slides, and then we're going to go to the live repository. As I mentioned, we will be having a segmented GSPI filter. Currently, we have like a general GSPI 6 classes precautionary list filter, but you will be starting next week be able to filter HPDs by whether there are substances present in their product that are listed on any of these sections. Additionally, we are in a product type filter, and this is based on the selection that the manufacturer makes to when the CSI section does not really describe their product the right way, or if they think that there are other names that the product categorization is known for in the industry. And with the 3.0, there was a change in the options for manufacturers to enter product type. So there is not really a lot of data that have been published yet. So we will be adding the filter, but I'll say that there will be some time to get more data under it. The other filter is VOC emissions, which is already implemented actually. And because we did have already a lot of data from all the 2.2 and 2.3 HPDs, since in the certification section that now is called compliance section, it was required that every manufacturer indicated whether there was a VOC emission certificate or not. So based on that, we evaluated all the published data of these 10,400 HPDs, and were able to come up with a filter based on the selection of the manufacturers. These filters was it's very general because we kind of aligned the selections. Sometimes there was the floor score, sometimes there was floor score something, sometimes there was UL Green Guard Gold, or there was just UL Green Guard. So we kind of grouped them all into the same category of certification. But the idea is that as we get more data and we can get more insights on the data that we're getting, then we can segment it also in the level of the certification for VOC emissions. But at least this is a good start to give the user an idea of whether the product has a certification or not. The other is the EU HPD, which is an option for the EU area, and it was based on the feedback from some of the manufacturers that have products that are global manufacturers and of course serve the US industry, but they have a lot of projects in the EU. And we have this tool that can screen the contents and will help them also to determine alignment with other lists that are only relevant with the EU. So what we did is, what our technical subgroups and technical committee approved was to develop a rating system for the contents in the HPD, but only following 3 lists that are relevant to the EU region, and be allowed manufacturers to publish an HPD that is specific to the EU. And it was first thought as an appendix, but now we're going to provide the options to publish just an EU HPD or both, or only the global HPD is how we're calling the main HPD. So how is this going to display in the repository? I'm going to go to the dashboards now, and we'll see the new product type filter right here. Again, we don't have a lot of data because we don't have the retroactive data from 2.2 and 2.3, but we will be getting data since we expanded these product types now in 3.0. And here you can see the VOC emissions. Right now we have the CDPH standard as a general. That's another annotation. We know that the CDPH standard is covered by some of these certifications. So when you select the CDPH standard, all of the ones that include the CDPH standard in their evaluation will be included as well. But then along that, we added the labels. If anyone has a label that is not represented here and we like their product to be also represented in a filter, please just reach out and we'll be happy to review the data and include it. It could be that there was just like a little leather or just there was not enough HPDs with this certification and that's why it's not here. The other filter is the segmented GSPI 6 classes, which we will see beginning of next week. And as I said, it will be just each of the 6 classes, but we will leave the overall one so that you can select all the lists or just the individual lists. So in addition to the filters, and we're talking about the interactive HPD version, we cannot see yet the 3.0s that we're going to be refreshing because the first, as I said, there are only 16 and we will be refreshing the database tonight. So starting tomorrow, likely you will start to see the 3.0 versions here in the interactive version. And when you click here, you will get the interactive panel and display this version of the HPD. From here, of course, you can download the PDF as well. And there are some additional fields. I mean, as I said, we started very basic with just, let me refresh because it's taking a little bit to load. Maybe just another one. So we started very basic with just like mapping all the fields in this version and adding some links. But the idea is to also with your feedback to continuously improve it to make it more understandable for those that are using the HPDs. Some of the new things are the link to the GreenScreen score so that users can read about the GreenScreen score and list translator scores. And we have the link to the pre-check for other programs where users can determine whether the HPD is aligned with Bora's chemical of concern, with Green Seal standard for paints, Parkinson with Transparency Initiative, and Reset. And also, we added a new hazard types table that indicates the hazard types and the substances under that have these hazards associated to them. This in addition to the regular material table with the substances, kind of a snapshot of what the HPD content is. Of course, the other sections were added as well with all the information, but we wanted to have this quick information at the top so that the user can see at a glance what the content of the HPD is. We're going to be adding, as I said, more information about the standard in a more simple way so that the users can really get an answer quickly on what the data means. Okay. I'm going to go back a little. So let me go to things. Let's just open another one. I wanted to show one other product category, but it's not that. Yeah. So the other, this is a basic method. Yeah. I want to show you a little bit of the content inventory with different entries, like the new entries, but maybe I can do it here. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So super important. The new certifications section was actually updated to be called compliance. So now it's what you're going to see in the interactive based on the PDF. And we added new fields to support other additional options that we added for certifications that are aligned with the efforts that HPDC is TSG for social equity is working on. And now you will see more details for compliance details, compliance scope, and that is not required for our certifications, but if you're adding some for social equity, you will be required to add those details. And just encouragement to HPD, to manufacturers creating HPD to focus on reporting their VOC emission certificates and any other certificates so that we can implement more filters, because we got the feedback that if we are already collecting this information in the HPD, it would be very valuable to be able to filter HPDs by certificates and not only complying with HPD, but knowing that you can align with other requirements for different programs in the building industry. All right, and I think with that, I can go back. Let me go back here, and what will be left is the new HPD pre-checks. We are currently working to support the LEED V5 calculator to determine the points that will be for this credit, and now it's covers all the certifications and disclosures for both environmental and materials. So our first step will be to develop a pre-check for LEED V5, and we are expecting to see at least a demo for this, if not implemented, next month at Greenbuild. And then the EU HPD, which is pending for announcement today, it's almost complete, but we think we're going to also be able to display the EU HPD next month. So with that, I'm going to stop and see if anyone has any questions. Yes, so Billy is asking for username and password for the dashboards. And let me remind everyone how to access the dashboards. I know that since there is still this simple access to the repository, then I mean, it's very quick to just find an HPD here, but now in these dashboards, we will have the additional filters and the access to the interactive HPD. So from here, from the homepage, if you're logged in with your regular email and your organization is a member of HPDC, you should get access to the dashboards automatically. If this doesn't work, just contact support and we will sort this out for you. But also, you can access them with your members portal credentials by going here. So sign in, and then these are the regular credentials that you used before. And then these are the members portal credentials, which is the MBR email and the one that you use to access your account and update and renew the membership with HPDC. So here you will click, and then it will ask you to access with the members portal. If you're already logged in the members portal, then it will access automatically. And this is what I mean. So there is the MBR email that you should have gotten with the update of the members portal. And then with the credentials, you can access the dashboards. Okay, now I have to change my password. Okay, Billy, I will follow up anyways to provide access. Is an API available for AI automation? Oh, what is the question? Insert to earlier. Yes, we have an API available, and it's called the Research API, and basically all the repository data, all the repository data is available. The steps will be to contact support, and we will schedule an initial meeting to understand what are the intentions for you to use the HPD data. And if it goes with the goal of the Research API, then we will then set up a follow-up call to walk through the process of connecting and signing the agreement to trigger the HPD data for any application that you may have. If your company is not a member, can we still access HPDs? Yes, you can access HPDs through the simple search. So let's go back to the repository. Sorry, oh no, my bad. Here. This is the simple search. And in here, you can search any product, any word really, and you will find HPDs. You can type name of the product, name of the manufacturer, You can also filter by CSI division, CSI section, manufacturer name, the version, the lead pre-check options, the type of inventory, and even find those that are verified or not verified. And if when you find the HPD that you need, then you can click, and this is not displaying, why? Then you can click, you will see a thumbnail of the report, and then to download it, the only thing you have to do is to add your email, but you don't have to log in. Now, if you log in and register, there is further functionality that you can use to create folders, queues, and download multiple HPDs at the same time. And then when you're a member of HPDC, is when you can access the dashboards. But even if you're not member, you can still access any HPDs, okay? Great. Yes. So who did the takeaway? Great. David, note taker. Great notes. That's exactly what I said. Will the addition of EU HPD and Libify require a version update 3.1? No. The EU is actually part of the 3.0. It was actually part of the 3.0 release, but we have some technical challenges at the end regarding the data of the hazards list. But the functionality in the builder to generate the EU HPD is done. The functionality in the repository to be able to display this EU HPD is done as well. So we just need to sort this out with some of the technical advisors, and we will add it. So there won't be a different release. And we believe that within a month, we're going to be able to offer you the option to generate the EU HPD. With LibV5, it's a little different because the requirements of HPDs for LibV5 didn't really change. So there are 3 options to get points in LibV5 that HPDs can collaborate to get points in this new credit version, and it's the same. So if you have an HPD that is aligned with the HPD Open Standard and is pre-checked for lead, you're good. Then if you have an HPD that is verified, then you can get 2 points. And then if you have an HPD that is verified and also doesn't have certain chemicals, and there is a portion with location that we will add as well, then you can also get points. But it hasn't changed. I mean, and maybe I can make this more, because it's a question that I'm getting very often. So when the manufacturers are in the builder, and they need to pre-check, these requirements, what we have configured to pre-check, they haven't changed because it's the same for LibV5 will be the same requirements, that the HPD is complete, that the substances are screened. And then for the second option, it will be that it has this pre-check, but is verified, third-party verified. And then the other option is that it's optimized. So it means that it doesn't have certain chemicals. So this is why we think we will have it like within the next month at least. But we don't know if there will be changes on the credit still, or in the interpretation, or in the suggestion. So there is some work that still has to be done to have a final version that does not depend on us. Okay. Okay, Kim, if you still have a question, you can make your question now. Great. Okay, so I think that was at the beginning of the call, and I think we don't have any other questions. Thank you so much again for joining, and this webinar will be posted on YouTube, and I'm always available through the support email with any questions. If you would like a demo of the dashboards of the interactive HPD, I'll be happy to schedule it. Just reach out. Thank you so much.